Today is a proud day for me, as I've joined the likes of Usain Bolt by setting a world record. A 100-metre sprint? Nah, something much more important. The fastest castle age time ever recorded on Arena in AOE2. I was unfamiliar with speedrunning in AOE2 until about a week ago, so here's some background information for anyone listening who is intrigued by the idea. You can go to speedrun.com and search for AOE2 and you'll see all sorts of leaderboards. The category I was interested in was advancing ages, and I'm displaying the current leaderboard for castle age on Arena. Couple of shout outs to give here. Firstly to the Fozzed. The reason I found out about AOE2 speedrunning in the first place was because I stumbled upon one of his videos on YouTube. And secondly to Sci-Fly, who is currently on top of the leaderboard with a time of 10 minutes and 8 seconds in-game time. The core build that I use is very similar to theirs, with a few minor optimizations which helped me to hit castle age 2 seconds earlier. I've linked both of their speedrun videos in the description. Before showcasing my run, there's a couple of ground rules for speedrun.com submissions. First, only slow speed is prohibited. The slower the speed of the game, the more precise we can be with our execution. By default, we play AOE2 on normal speed, which is 1.7 times faster than real time. For this run, I slowed it down to casual, 1.5 speed. All runs should be solo, with no other players on the map. This is to prevent getting extra resources from an opponent, for example by laming a boar. Settings, such as map size, can be adjusted in the interest of the speedrun. I went for a normal 6-player map because that's the size that Sci-Fly used in their recording, but honestly, I think any map size would work here. You are allowed to play on all visible mode, which I have taken advantage of here. Most speedruns are done by restarting the same map generation over and over again so that you can practice and perfect your build. So this is just a quality of life thing, because after you play the same map a few times, you will know where all the resources are anyway. That's it for the rules, so let's jump into the run itself. I've picked the Khmer as my civ, due to their bonus of not needing any buildings to advance age. Efficiency is everything here. I initially have 2 villagers building a house, but after 11 seconds I send one to sheep. Constructing a building with more than 1 villager is inefficient, and this timing makes the house come up just in time to not be housed. I immediately lure in an elephant with my scout. Villagers gather food quicker from hunt than from sheep. We need our villagers working on elephants and deers throughout Dark Age in order to get enough food to click Feudal Age in time. You might think it's wasteful to kill a sheep and then leave it to rot after just a few seconds, but we'll actually have sheep to spare in this build. I have 6 food in my stockpile from this sheep, and this is one of the key optimizations that allowed me to beat Sci-Fly's time. I start pushing deer around the 1 minute mark. I put 4 villagers on the deer and send the rest of the new villagers on the elephant. This map generation has the largest possible amount of hunt. We have elephants, which have 400 food compared to a boar's 340, and we also have 4 deer. This was essential in being able to pull off the build. Something to focus on here is the amount of walking time from our TC villagers. Every second spent walking is a second not gathering food. I managed to get the second deer right on top of the first so that no walking is required. The first elephant is running low on food, so I prepare my scout to bring in the second. Why not lure it in with a villager? You guessed it. Villager walking time is bad for efficiency. Even the elephant kills have been optimized here. An elephant has 75 HP. The 2 hits from the scout combine to 6 damage. We garrison 3 villagers into the TC and shoot 4 volleys, giving 12 shots at 5 damage apiece for a total of 60. When we eject these 3 villagers, they immediately shoot the elephant for 3 damage each, giving us the remaining 9 damage required to kill the elephant. To save walking time, the villagers finishing the first elephant are garrisoned and ejected directly onto the second. We will keep creating villagers until we hit 15 population, then we'll start thinking about feudal age. All new villagers go to elephant, so we'll end up with 4 on deer and 10 on elephant. We will have a small bit of TC idle time before we can click up. I force drop food at 4 minutes 40 and then click up at 4:42, which equates to 7 seconds of idle time. After we click up, we send 1 elephantville to a straggler tree. They will gather 25 food on the way up so that we can drop a market when we hit feudal. At around 5 minutes 10, we send a villager to a forward gold pile. They'll gather exactly 6 gold from the mine and then gather the gold from 2 foxes. Villagers gather from foxes extremely fast, so it makes up for the walking time required to reach them. Under the TC, we need to transition onto sheep. To minimise bumping, I split them into 3 groups of 4 or 5 villagers each. Keep an eye on the straggler treeville. After they hit 5 wood on their 3rd trip, we send them back to sheep. A tiny optimization I used here was to push the foxes with my scout. You can't push them far, but you can save your villager a few tiles of walking time. This actually made all the difference in this run because I just hit the 200 gold for Castle Age at the perfect second. When we hit feudal age, immediately drop a market with 4 villagers. When it's up, we will sell our 200 stone and buy 100 food. I had my fingers waiting on the hotkeys so I could do this as quickly as possible. After using the market, we garrison all the TC vills and pray to the gods that we have the resources for Castle Age. I clicked up at 7:26, which results in a Castle Age time of 10:06. I had 3 food to spare, which makes me think that 10:05 is possible with this build. As a reference, 13 villagers on sheep gather about 4.5 food per second, and it's probably doable to make up the 1.5 food by being more efficient with your TC vills. You might be wondering why we built the market when the Khmer don't need any buildings to advance age. The reason is simple. Without the market, we essentially have 150 wood and 200 stone going to waste. By gathering a meagre 25 wood, we can sell that 200 stone for 181 gold. However, since we start with 100 gold, this brings us to 281, which is overkill for Castle Age. But if we can gather an additional 69 gold, then we'll have 350, enough to buy 100 food and still have 200 gold left for Castle Age. A fox gives 31 or 32 gold apiece, so 2 foxes and 6 from the gold mine brings us precisely to this target. Once I clicked Castle Age, there was one essential task left. There's plenty of time on the way up, but it was fairly micro-intensive. That task, of course, is to arrange your villagers into the letters WR. The official time for the run is whatever appears on the Technology tab in Statistics, which you can see here is 10:06.